Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn that how we can import data from an Excel file using Python in Odoo. So what I am going to do is I am going to create a wizard. This wizard will ask for an Excel file which we will use to import contact details or create customers in Odoo. So let's first create a wizard. I'm going to create a Python file. Let's import fields and models from Odoo, and let's create a basic structure for our wizard. Let's name it as contact import with the class name, and it will be a transient model since it's a wizard. Let's name the model as contact.import.wiz, and this wizard will have two fields, one for the import file which will be used to import an Excel file to create customers. It will be a binary file, and next we will have a file name. In this field the name of the file will be stored which we will upload. Now let's add this in our init file. Now let's go on and create a view file for our wizard, and I'm going to name it as contact import wiz.xml. In this file we are going to create a form view for our wizard, and it will also have the same field that we just declared in our model. So let's go on and create a form view. Okay, let's add our import file field here, and the widget we will be using for this field will be binary since we are going to upload a file here, and file name attribute will have the name of the field which will store the name of our uploaded file. But we need a field also for this that I will make invisible since we don't want the user to see this field. I am also create two buttons here in the footer of the form, one for the cancel and the other one for importing the uploaded file. So let's create those two buttons. Now we have to define this function in our Python file. This function we will use to process the uploaded file to create customers. Now let's go on and add our XML file in the manifest. we have to add the access rights for our newly created model. Otherwise, the user will not be able to see or perform any activity on this. So for now, I'm just going to give all the permissions to all the users, since that's not the topic for this video. Once we have created the Python file, the model, the view, and the security, we can go on and install or upgrade our module. Of course, we have to restart our Odoo server. Let's just upgrade our module. Now what I want is, I need a button here in the action menu that once clicked will open the created wizard and ask for an Excel file. So we have to create a server action that will open our wizard view and ask for a file that we will use to create customers. So let's create an XML file, server action.xml, and in this file I will create my server action that will be used to open our wizard. I have also made a video, an explicit video for this specific topic. You can check that also. Now let's go on and create our server action. So I have created our server action. Once this action is clicked, it will open the required wizard. Now we have to add this file in the manifest. Now let's go on and upgrade our module to see our server action. Let's go to context module, go to the action menu, and here it is, import contacts. And once it's clicked, we have our wizard. Now once I click this button, I will be asked to upload a file, and once I click import button, we should create the customers from the file based on the data that will be provided in the file. So we have to customize the method, but first of all we need to import required libraries, xlrd, temp file, and binasky. Now let's go on to our method, and we have to write the Python code here. So first of all, I'm going to create a temporary file with the data provided in our import file field. So let's create a temporary file. and the suffix will be .xlsx. We are going to write the bytes from our import file in this temporary file, and then we are going to close it. Now if there is any error in doing so, we have to raise the user error that we can get from odoo.exceptions, and let's raise the user error here, and we'll just write the message as invalid field. Okay, once we have the temporary file, we can use this file to process the data. So I'm going to open the workbook using XLRD library, and we are going to use the path of the temporary file. Next, I'm getting the sheet, which in our case will be the first one. You can also get the sheet by name, or you can change the index if you have more than one sheets in the Excel file to the required sheet. Now, first of all, we should check that if there is any data in the sheet. If not, then we are going to return simply. Next, I am going to store the header row in a separate list. This row expectedly will contain the name of the fields, and rest of the rows will contain the data. So I am going to get the header fields or the first row in a separate list, and we are going to append the first row and all the columns contained in the first row in a separate list. Next, we have to get the data, and let's name it customer lines, or let's just name it as import lines. This will contain a dictionary list with the header fields and the corresponding data of all the rows. So we have to iterate the row one by one and store the values against the first row list in a dictionary. Let me show you how we can do it. First, we are iterating the row. Next, we are going to iterate the columns against that row. And in the end, we are going to save the value of each column respective to the first row list in a dictionary. So in this way, we will get the header row column against the data row column, and so on for all the rows. And then we are just going to append it to the import lines. So this is how we will get all the data in a dictionary format. Let's just try and print the data, the import lines, to see what we get as a result of uploading a file. Let's just restart, go to our Odoo module, refresh it. We are going to open a wizard and click the button. It is going to ask for a file. I have a file here, and it has some columns like name, job position, phone, mobile, email, etc. So we are going to use this. Now let's just click on the import button and let's see what we got in the log. So here we have a list of dictionary in our import lines, and you can see it has corresponding data in a very good format. We have name, job position, and all of the information Now let's just loop import lines and let's create our customers. And in the end, I am going to return the created customers. So let's append the ID of the created customer that I am going to create using the import line and using the ORM method create. And here you can add as much data as you want, whatever you have in the Excel file, and you can of course customize it and add more columns and more data. I am just adding a few columns just to show you as a demo. So let's just copy these lines, and we have to add the keys from the dictionary, and in the end we have to also specify the exact column names or the field names from Odoo against those keys. So let's say that I have this much data that I want to add while creating the customers. There is street also, and now we have to add the field names, the accurate field names that we have in the REST partner model in Odoo. So let's specify the field names. And that's it. We are going to just return the partners or customers that we just created. So I'm going to use the action of customers, and we will simply return this action once we have created all the customers. We will pass the domain of the newly created partner IDs, so it will only return a list of customers that we have just created. So let me get the XML ID for action. Here it is. Let's copy and add it here. Let's add a domain, and the domain I will specify that it should only return the customer whose ID is in the list of newly created customers IDs. Let's go on, refresh, restart our Odoo server, refresh, and try to create some customers. Open the wizard, give the accurate XLS file, and press import, and here you go. You can see it has created a customer with the data from the Excel file. This is how you can create customers or any records in Odoo using Python to read the XLS file. This method is also useful in many other places, like we can add products to sale order, that we will cover in other videos. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe the channel.